Okay, what we're doing today is I'm going back and I'm reviewing everything we did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week. So I want to make sure you know exactly what it means to graph a quadratic function from vertex form. So that means you need to know what vertex form is. So what is the equation of a quadratic in vertex form? Good. So it's that a out in front, x minus h inside, all squared instead of the absolute values that we had, plus k. Your vertex is always the opposite of h in the formula, comma, k. AOS is just me shortening axis of symmetry. It is always an equation. An equation has to have an equal sign. So it is x equals h. You can determine if your graph will have a min or a max depending on the a value. So if a is positive, a positive a will be a min. So what I did is I just wrote plus a below min. If you have a negative a, then you'll have a max. The max always occurs at what value? K. So whatever the k value is in your function, that will be your max value. The range is always going to have a y, but the range is going to depend on the a. If you have a positive a, good. And if you have a negative a, then it's less than or equal to.
Can you go over that?
If a is positive in this equation here, you have a min. If a is negative in the equation up here, then you'll have a max. Because it's always at the y value that is k. So like you circle the word min or you circle the word max at k. The transformations are going to be on your quiz, meaning if you have a problem, I need to know in words what is happening to that graph. Just like I needed to know in words what was happening with your absolute values. So if the a value is negative, if the a value good, if you have a negative a, then you have reflection. If a is bigger than 1, what happens to your graph? Good. Very good. So if a is between 1 and 0, it's compressed. And then I gotta put fraction in parentheses just to remind you that if it's a fraction, that it's compressed. Because sometimes when you see 0 and 1, you don't think of the fact that that just means a fraction. So in the formula itself, it's x minus. So if you ignore the negative part, if h is h, meaning it's a minus in the problem. So if it's, well, yes, if it's x minus h, it's going right. If it is x plus h, it's going left. If it's plus k, it's going, and if it's minus k, those are the words I would look for on your quiz. So like if it was plus 2, I would want you to tell me that it goes up 2. That also means that your max value or your min value is at 2. So the repetition of information is all in being able to figure out A, H, and K. what I want to do here is I want to graph my favorite parent function, because everything about quadratics comes from the parent function. So the parent function is y equals x squared. The parent function table never ever changes. The parent function vertex is at, so there's my vertex. The second point, you add 1 here, and then you square 1, so you get, you go up by 1 to the right, you square 2, so you get 4. So 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. What's the axis with which my graph is going to be cut in half through? Yeah, the axis is going to be through x equals 0, because it goes through the h value of my vertex. So what that means is that the parent function is symmetric about that line. So that means if from my vertex point, this goes 1 unit from that yellow dashed line, it's also going to have a point over here, 1 away from the yellow dashed. If this is 2 away, over here is 2 away. Whatever happens on the right has to happen on the left. Up here, it would be off the graph. At 9 for 3, it would also be 3 units and negative 3, 9. Connect your points, draw in your parabola, and put your arrows facing up.
So for the axis, your trace always going to be like your x, if it's like negative 3 on the x coordinate,
It's going to be the x coordinate of the vertex. So this is not going to be negative 3 on my vertex. It's the opposite of what's inside the parentheses. So you have 3, comma, what's my k value? My k value is an x? Yeah, my k value is negative 4. No, it's the value right here. Okay, take a minute and fill in AOS, circle min or max, and determine your range. So take a minute on your own and fill in the rest of the handout.
Follow my YouTube channel, like
It's not based on my computer's not here. Use this. Okay. One of the mistakes I see when I walk around. We have a 3 here. That's great. You have to have x equals. So again, you would get half the points for that part of the problem. You do not put x equals, you are not answering the entire question. My a is a 2. 2 is positive. Therefore, I have a min. The min value doesn't occur at 2. The minimum value occurs at k, which in this case is negative 4. If I have a minimum, my range is going to be a greater than. So y is greater than or equal to negative 4. The positive 2 tells me it is stretched by a factor of 2. The 3 inside, because it's x minus 3, tells me right 3. Sure. Very good. So remember, the right 3 and down 4, what's that giving me? The right 3 and down 4 represents my movement across here and down to give me my vertex. So over here, that's kind of like saying 0. Yes, 0 plus 3, which is 3. Then remember, my old starting point was at 0. You multiply that by a and add k to give you the -4. So that's how you fill in your table. It's the old parent function numbers. So 0, 1, 2, and 0, 1, 4. Then what we do is we add h to the x side. You multiply by a on the y, and you add or subtract your k. And that's going to give you all of your new graphing points. So again, this tells you the formula for it. It's the old perfect square number from the parent function above times a and adding k. So you always use that table from above and you follow these operations. So you get -2 and +4 over here, and we get 4 and 5 over here. So graphing those points, remember, if this is the vertex and it goes up to right 1, it also goes up to left 1. If it goes up 8 and right 2, it goes up 8 and left 2. I could draw a line through x equals 3, and my graph should be perfectly opposite from those points. This is my line of symmetry. What? I do it lightly on purpose. I don't want you to see it as a line. I want you to see it as the axis of the earth. It's not a line. Okay. There are 2 examples for today using standard form.
Thank you.
So in the top right-hand corner, or on the back, because we're not doing the word problem on the back, so you can put a big X on the back. What I want you to do is write the equation for standard form nice and big so that you can see it.
I should cross out the back.
Yeah, we're not doing the problem on the back. The word problem. Yeah, I'm still recording you, but we're not doing the back at all. So the back is the word problem and steps 1, 2, and 3. So standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So this is 3 parts, and it's the same, this is going to be the same graph that we would get from vertex form. The difference is that vertex form very nicely showed me the vertex. Now my vertex is parts of this problem. So your vertex is the opposite of the b value divided by 2 times the a value. As I said, to write it on the back underneath the word problem. So, I only told you to press the word problem. To find k, you have to actually plug h in. So this piece right here represents h, and this piece right here represents k. And I know right now it's a lot of letters and a lot of parentheses. When we do the example, it shall make sense. This information is also on the chart we did the other day on the front, and I said this chart's super important. You're gonna want to memorize it or keep it at the front. So again, negative beta, this and this are very similar, but this means you plug this in for x and solve for y. That means plug h in for x. This represents h. This is a number. And solve for y. I said, this is the formula part of it. When we actually start applying it, it will make sense. The h in this, negative b divided by 2a, would be like if in physics you were told the maximum time or the max height occurred at time 3 equals, or time t equals 3 seconds. So when you're given a time t equals 3, that's the h value of the vertex. That's also the middle term divided by 2a.
He's gonna call him out.
Would you be able to teach physics?
Yeah.
You should have.
What is the graph of y equals negative, or y equals x squared plus 2x plus 3 going to look like? So here's what you want to do first. Identify A, B, and C. Because if you can identify A, B, and C, then you are going to know. You know A, B, and C, then you're going to be able to find H and K. And when we know H and K, we can get our graph. Because we know how to make a table based off starting with H and K. So the H value is the opposite of the B value. So remember, it's negative B divided by 2A. So what's the opposite of B? Divided by 2 times 1. So it's negative 2 divided by 2. Negative 1. The K value is when you plug negative 1 into the function. Plug negative 1 into this equation. So you get negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 plus 3. So negative squared is always a positive. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. So now you know, remember, this is H. You have A, H, and K. Now you have all that key information. This tells you my graph goes left 1, up 2. My vertex is negative 1, 2. So plot negative 1, 2. The y-intercept is 0, c. C is 3. So your y-intercept is 0, 3. My vertex is up 1, right 1. It's also up 1, left 1. If you make your table with the x plus h and the ya plus k, your vertex is the first line. So it's negative 1 and 2. That means you do 1 plus h, which was negative 1, 2 and negative 1. So you get 0 and 1. And then you go 1 times a, which is 1, plus k, which is 3. And 4 times 1 plus 3. This is the same stuff from the chart before. So it'd be 1 plus 3, which is 4. 4 plus 3. What? Because A is 1. No.
Would you be able to do it the other way and do like the -1, then the 0,